Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Jason, for inviting us to speak today. That's a great bio. It was written by my company for me, so it makes me sound really good. If you don't mind, I'm not going to use the mic because I like to talk, and I like to talk loud. If anyone can't hear me, just let me know. But today, I'm going to be telling the story of the Young Professionals Network of Tacoma Pierce County. But my day job is working for Spectrum Pension Consultants up on 19th. My job is in sales and service. It's a locally family-owned business. Most of you know the Camacho's family. Great organization to work for. But being from Gig Harbor, moving away and moving back, starting my career here in Tacoma, I wanted the opportunity to give back to my community. And the way that I've done that is through the Young Professionals Network. Today with me I have Lizzie Baker, the current president of YPN, and Jenica Holmquist, the past president of YPN. So to get us started, I'll have to do this two ways. So a little bit about YPN. It's a volunteer organization that is really about young professionals here in Tacoma as well as Pierce County. I like this little bio, so I'm going to read it real quickly. We aspire to develop, connect, and unite the next generation of community leaders through our core principles of leadership, philanthropy, and networking. We grow, cultivate, engage, and retain young professional leadership in Tacoma Pierce County. We're a growing network of Pierce County residents under 40 years old from all backgrounds, professions, and lifestyles. What we experienced at YPN is we have folks that grow up in this area that stay here, but predominantly because of the military bases, because of Seattle, because of tech, people are oftentimes transplants to this area. And what we want to develop with YPN is another avenue for us to retain those leaders. For those folks that have been in this area, like my parents have for 40 years, we've seen a lot of growth in this area. And we want to make sure that young people are represented, connected to folks like you, to nonprofits, to for-profits, etc. So our mission for YPN is to connect young professionals in Tacoma Pierce County to build lasting relationships socially, philanthropically, and in business. Where is YPN? It's in Pierce County. Predominantly Tacoma, still number 3 city in the state, but we also work in Puyallup, Lakewood, Gig Harbor, Silicon. Honestly, wherever people are working and living, we want to attract them to our group. A little bit about our leadership. Like I said, it's a volunteer organization. It's about 8 years old. Every year, the folks in our membership can be nominated for leadership, those that want to volunteer to be stewards of the organization to help grow and develop it over time. Here is a snapshot of the board. So Lindsay, everyone's got a day job representing multiple different industries. Lindsay Baker here, myself, Alexis Clerk works for Northwest Hardwoods as a CPA. Jenica Holmquist, past president. And then we have our committees. These are really the people that do the work of our organization. So we have Beth Brown here. Looks like it's a little cut off. She's a structural engineer. Bryce Leahy, lawyer in town. Austin Patchins, who works for Heritage Banking. He runs our golf tournament every year. Angie Bauer, she's a recruiter, but she's our communications chair. Aaron Johnson, he's a safety manager for the Bratkin Atlas Foundry in the Nally Valley. And then Joe Corona, he's our networking chair, and he works for US Bank. So how do we accomplish our mission that we've already set? We do it really in the 3 ways of networking, leadership, and philanthropy. But then we also have to keep conscious of the fact that we have members, and so that's the 4th thing I have listed here. So I wanted to go into just some quick details on our engagement model, because we're predominantly targeting those over 18 and those under 40, which mostly are Gen X and Gen Y. So our engagement model is really online. So this is a lot of the tools and resources we use to engage with new members, whether we're marketing to new ones or communicating with our current ones. So online, you're probably all familiar with Facebook, LinkedIn, the professional site, Twitter, Blogger, and Constant Contact. Everything is moving to mobile, and so we very much live online. So our communication is via those methods. But from a face-to-face standpoint, relationships, I still strongly believe, come from sitting down and engaging with people on a face-to-face basis. And so we do that with our membership weekly in a non-formal happy hour, as well as monthly events through the different avenues: networking, philanthropy, and leadership. We have annual events for our members, as well as our golf tournament. To go into some of the details of the different events that we put on, networking that Joe Corona works on is to engage and cultivate member relationships through activities, events, mostly just fun. We want to engage our members, excuse me. We want to engage our members in a way that they can interact. And so sometimes that's through formal avenues. If any of you have been involved in speed networking or speed dating, you'll understand being able to sit down in front of a table like this, pass your business cards out, and have 3 minutes to tell one person you don't know everything you do. But we also do things in fun. Go bowling, go to the Rainiers games, go to Sounders, go to the Tacoma Stars. Joe Corona is also, he's a character. He loves to play games. He likes to make people laugh. He reminds me of you, sir, in the back, inside a conversation, which is a great way to break the ice. And he actually came from the Tacoma Rainiers, so he's just a very lively person. And so our last game that we hosted at, what's that brewery down by House 19? Narrows Brewery, thank you. Where we had 2 characters from movies or from bands or notable celebrities, where you had to find your partner. And so it was like Son and Cher and other kind of movie characters. And so people were going around the room and trying to find their all like ketchup and mustard. Like you would just go around, and that's the kind of thing that he brings to us to help new people get engaged. And then you can have the conversations of, what do you do? That's that's the number one question asked in America is, what do you do? But there's much more to human beings than what we do. But that's the basis of part of our membership. When I started with YPN, I was simply a member. I wanted to volunteer my time here in Tacoma. Like I said, I grew up in Egg Harbor, went to Egg Harbor High School. My family still lives out there, and I have many friends and family members in this area. But what I wanted to do as a young adult here in Tacoma was understand my peer group that was making impact. And so I wanted to do that through volunteerism. As a member of my own church, we volunteer a lot, and I wanted to make that same impact living here in Tacoma. And so that's how I started. And then I ended up becoming the leadership chair. And so I called it Leadership in Action. What this committee really does is we want to hear from business leaders, community leaders, politicians, really anybody that has a success story that they want to share to young adults so that they can get business cards, contacts. They can understand that the attainable is achievable. And what I have here is kind of our market strategy of connecting young professionals to those business leaders. So we've had people like the owner of Spectrum speak, we've had politicians speak, we've had the mayor of Tacoma speak to provide access to these young adults. Some of these people are coming straight out of college, and they're nervous just to sit in a room like this. Some are established professionals that want to grow their network here. But the leadership, I'm really passionate about this, making sure that folks that have a success story can share that with young professionals, because then we can share those success stories and let them know that their goals are achievable. Philanthropy. At YPN, we're committed to the community of Pierce County. We're all passionate in this room, probably for a couple of different nonprofit organizations. Personally, my family has experienced a lot of cancer. My dad's a kidney cancer survivor, so that's something I'm very passionate about. My brother's a type 1 diabetic, and he's been that way since about age 9. And so my family spends a lot of time giving back to those communities. So what we really do at YPN, like I said, because we're a volunteer organization of about 50 members, we survey our members and find out what they're passionate about, and we want to dedicate our people to doing that. So here's a couple examples of the outreach that we've done. The Emergency Food Network in Lakewood is probably our most well-attended volunteer program, where you get to take food from farms or other shelters and repackage that. Shoreline cleanups, toy drives. Chris was a YP member. Are you still a current member, Chris?
No longer. I turned 40 on Sunday.
So when Chris wasn't there, we'll invite him back for the leadership events. But you had us do a toy drive. We've done blood drives, Tacoma Green Day. I don't remember what the park is, but it's just above the Tacoma Dome, where we spent a morning just covered in mud, planting trees and removing debris. The Boys and Girls Club, Rock and Rally for the Troops was in Fife, and they threw a whole concert to benefit veterans. My dad's a veteran, both my grandfathers are veterans, and I have many friends that currently serve, as I'm sure you all do living in this area. So again, we want to be passionate about and give back to what our members find important. And then membership. We bring our members together quarterly to stay connected. We invite new young professionals to the group. So we have Spectrum's done this. A couple of our members organizations have done that. Every quarter we throw an after hours welcome, kind of an open door policy. Current members, new members can come in. Any business has the opportunity to sell their services. So a guy like me with a captive audience like you, I'd love to sit here and sell you stuff all day long. So every member has the opportunity to say, hey, my business would like to be represented. We'd like to host the quarterly meeting. And so we do that. We supply free cocktails and food, and young people show up when we supply free cocktails and food. We also attend other various organizations events. The Women's Council of Realtors, they had an event at LeMay, and so we wanted to make sure we had a presence there because we all volunteer in different ways, and we want to make sure that YPNs engage with that. The Salvation Army, I'm involved with the Salvation Army dinner every year as well. Other community businesses, it's probably just me, but my interests don't fall far from microbreweries and golf, and so we've been to Tacoma Brewery a couple times and got to understand their ownership, understand how they brew, and got to have our members, experience some fine ales. Probably our largest event every year is our golf tournament. It's how we fund our organization every year. And so it's an opportunity for us to lift up the businesses that we represent, to sponsor, to get people to come play. Now our membership probably has a 5% golfer. So we had to be careful on how we did the event. It had to be more fun. So we play games. It's at the public 9-hole course in Tacoma at Highlands. It's a fun event. We've got about 50 golfers that play every year, every hole sponsor, and then the additional sponsors. So I don't know. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely different than playing at Chambers Bay. But at the end of the day, we're trying to build relationships, and anywhere we're getting in front of our members, they're communicating with each other. So how do we get people to join? Through a lot of these events, we're engaging with them. We've got the resources of our membership chair where they follow up and they get people to join through the website, through a newsletter, or in person. Membership benefits. When I was thinking about this slide, a lot of benefits to these kind of social clubs are intangible. But for some of our members, they're very tangible. I do business with people that I like and people in my network. And this group has helped grow their business and my business. And because of the type of sales I'm in, it makes a lot of sense. Others are in business to consumer sales, and they've had a lot of success. But some of the other intangibles, access to events. When we survey our members, they had no idea the volunteer opportunities that were available in this area. And it's simply by meeting on a weekly basis where you hear about the things that are going on here in Tacoma. Build your brand. Get connected. I mean, it's said a lot, get connected. Connect online, connect in person. But really what we're trying to do is make sure people are here to grow their roots in Tacoma so that we can, as a community, grow. Get involved. Business development, joint ventures. Build your network. This is huge for me. Because my folks have been around in this town for 40 years, I know a lot of families and friends and kind of what they do. But building my own network so that if I needed the services of a real estate agent, of a mortgage person, of a lawyer, of a banker, I didn't know those people to call besides my dad's friends. And so building my own network is very important to me over time, so that the next person that asks me, I need some help, I would say, well, have you talked to the person in our YPN group? Meet business and community leaders. Job opportunities. We've got, four universities in our backyard. It's about every quarter that we get a bunch of these young people, like 17, 18, 19 years old, that walk into the weekly meeting, and they're all confused, they don't know what to do. And they're coming from the universities. Their instructors, their professors are setting them out to experience what these groups are about, to see how us in our careers are networking. And so I always find that to be interesting. And then, we hire young folks at Spectrum, and so job opportunities are always there too. Leadership opportunities. When I joined YPN, I'm a natural volunteer, and so I volunteer for everything, which means I naturally got put on a committee, which means I naturally got voted to vice president. But it's an opportunity to, if you want to give back to your community, I'm spending obviously a great deal of my free time, as they tend to call it, volunteering, and I love it, and it helps me make an impact on you folks. Give back. So YPN's partners. Who do we work with in this community? The Chamber of Commerce of Tacoma, I'm from Gig Harbor, but the Chamber of Commerce of Gig Harbor has a YPN as part of their chamber. And I know those folks, and we work with those folks. The Chamber of Commerce in Tacoma does not have a YPN. And so when our organization was founded, which is far before my time, it was the idea of fulfilling that need here in our community. So we partner with them, we work with them to volunteer and help. Rotary. My parents are Rotarians. They work for employers that are Rotarians. So we partner with you all in any way that we can help make a presence, to help volunteer. We'd love to know more. New Tech Tacoma. For those that are not aware, there's some tech growing in Tacoma, obviously Seattle, in this area. There's a group of folks that meet every month, and because of the business that we're in, technology and financial services, I attend that, and I'm pretty passionate about meeting those folks. Local businesses and nonprofits. That's all I have for you this morning. Any questions?
This is strictly a Pierce County effort at this point. Have you thought of taking it outside this area? Because it sounds like a natural for young people to network.
It's a great question. So oftentimes local municipalities have created their own YPN. This one is a grassroots organization with no other affiliation. So we would love to do that.
Seattle has a YPN chapter through the Chamber of Commerce, and so does Thurston County.